and welcome to The Good, The Bad and The What The Fuck's Volume 4 of Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's the 4th week of lockdown. This is the fourth volume of Van Damme's. Now, if you're clicking on this video thinking that you're going to see Van Damme movies, no. Give us a thumbs down if you want. Start being a keyboard warrior or a keypad warrior. Just, you know what I mean? It's just, yep, okay. So if you love a Van Damme, I'm loving Van Damme. As you see at the end of the last one, got a packet of Van Damme films. And I'm going to make me way through them. Now this one, the first one, Oliver Harper's Most Pride Joy, Sudden Death. Now from the director of Time Cop and Enemies Closer. Universal Production. So Van Damme, at this time, this is one of his big last ones. Street Fighter was pretty big. This definitely was hyped everywhere. Definitely remember seeing the movie poster in the cinema and stuff like that. So you got Van Damme looking to the side. So basically, Die Hard. And there's probably films that predate Die Hard, but Die Hard was a big film about putting a person in a situation, and like an under siege situation, and dealing and overcoming all the odds. Now Bruce Willis wasn't really famous when he did Die Hard. In fact, he more if I had a comedy streak. And Die Hard was a massive hit. I mean, it made Bruce Willis the action star. And over the years, every solution and scenario and unpredictability and all of the cosmos lined up has put some of the biggest Hollywood actors into these similar situations. Steven Seagal, Under Siege, Sylvester Stallone, Daylight, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sudden Death. The actors always get stuck somewhere, and it's a back up against the wall. Like even getting them made now with final score and stuff like that. The formula works, the scenario works. It's just where you're willing to try and do it. Speed, you know what I mean? You might think, well, speed's not. Well, he's stuck on a bus. You know what I mean? The actor is stuck somewhere, and it creates a scenario. So this was Van Damme's crack at it, really. Universal as well, producing it. Obviously, they did Under Siege. I want to say they did. No, it's Warner Brothers. I'll shut up. Yeah, see, I corrected myself. See, anyway, Powers Booth is the main bad guy in this, who is the bad guy in Tombstone, the big poster I'm looking at over there. Press center to release. This has recently been reissued on Blu-ray and DVD, with nothing extra on it, which is a bit of a disappointment. So basically, the scenario is Die Hard. Jean-Claude Van Damme is a firefighter at the start of this movie. Unfortunately, has a bit of a trauma. It doesn't go the way you think it's going to go. Van Damme is not saving the day there. And fast forwards 2 years later, and Van Damme wants to go to the hockey game. He wants to take his kids. His son recognisable. I've seen his son in a few other things. So he gets there and it does the whole Die Hard. He's trying to get his kids up there. He's going to work. The bad guys are coming in. And the score's very similar to a Die Hard, but there's a hockey game going on, and the teams are getting ready for the Stanley Cup final, and while they're trying to play off, Powers Booth takes over the presidential suite, kidnaps the vice president, and wants money. So he basically, give me money, or you know what, by the next quarter, someone's dead, bam, you're dead. Meanwhile, Van Damme just gets roped into it. He has a fight with a penguin, which is mental. Van Damme does a few flips and kicks in this. Majority, as I remember as a kid, the flying drop kick he does to the penguin, because I hate penguins. I just don't like penguins. I got chased off a penguin when I was a kid. There was a picture of us knocking around, getting chased by this fucking penguin. I don't know what I've done with it. I've used it for my new show, so I've misfiled it. Anyway, back off the fucking rant. Van Damme, again, he starts communicating with somebody outside, not being stereotypical, but the guy outside's the copper and he's black, like in Die Hard, but get ready for the twist because he's in on it. They didn't really leave it that much time to boil really with that. Anyway, Van Damme goes around fighting all the henchmen. You get to see some good fights and stuff like that, and Van Damme is out to save his kids in the day and all that. And then at the very end, it has a really big climax with the fucking helicopter coming through the roof. But 1 minute, Van Damme's the goalkeeper. What the fuck? Van Damme comes on and makes the greatest save of the year. And it's he's a firefighter. He mentioned that he used to play hockey, and he saves the day on that. Next thing you know, he's running up the fucking roof across the rafters, sliding down. And even then, it just goes that little bit extra long. The film literally goes into sudden death for a little rush climax, but it's a solid movie. I mean, it doesn't for what it is, you know what I mean. Especially if you're maybe a hockey fan, probably enjoy it more. Or I'm not any kind of sports fan because apparently wrestling's not sport. But anyway, it's a Van Damme. It's his Die Hard film. He does not tone it down. He doesn't dial it in. Sorry. As I say, Oliver Harper's done a really good review on this. It's one of his favourites. Just a shame when they've reissued. They give nothing extra features or commentaries or anything like that. So Van Damme's got another film, hasn't he? Like that, Derailed. There's one I keep forgetting about. I've got to have to rewatch that again on it. So I can dig Derailed out as well. So there's a few I need to dig out the cupboard. I'm going to try. I mean, there's stuff like Cyborg. I think Replicant's the next one. I've already chose that one. So yeah, welcome to the Good, the Bad and the What the Fox, Volume 4 for Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, and that was sudden death. Okay, next up, The Replicant, big box VHS. Pretty old, this one. Did rewind it, look at that. He has just become his own worst enemy. Right, so Van Damme is a twin, goes back to Double Impact, which will be on this Good, the Bad and the What the Fox. So this one came straight out on DVD. This is kind of when Van Damme was dropping off a bit before he started making a load of films in Bulgaria, I think. Let's have a look at the date on this one. 2001. Yeah, so it's distributed quite big as well. Yeah, Columbia TriStar. So, so basically Van Damme is a killer, torture, has mother issues and goes around killing people. And Mickey Rourke, from Cliffhanger and more recent Guardians of the Galaxy. They're having this kind of like battling off. And this film came out around about the same time, I think, The Watcher with Keanu Reeves and James Spader. And it's like kind of like, they're trying to track down who's killing them. And Van Damme comes up wearing glasses, long black hair and all that, and just like really creep, really. And it's weird as he carried it because he's going around it and like killing all these people who are like bad to the moms and all that, but he's still caring for his mom in a home and stuff, so it's weird. So the idea to try and find him is to clone him. Yeah. So the government is cloning people, and it's these big eggs, these organic eggs, and they're cloning people, and it's like, what? So as soon as this other Van Damme is born, the other one senses it. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a time paradox or something like that. The Van Damme, I think he's called the Torch, who was around, should not know that this other one's been born, but hey ho, it's a fucking movie. So Van Damme goes around, so this Van Damme comes out, and Mickey Rourke is his guardian, so he's got to look after him. But of course, the Van Damme who comes out, more like an infant, doesn't understand anything, do you know what I mean? I watched 40-Year-Old Virgin last night, and there's a scene where Van Damme ends up being in a prostitute's house, and he doesn't know what's going on. He's watching porn, and it's just like, what the fuck? And he's like touching himself, like, it's just like, what the fuck? But Van Damme, on the one hand, he plays that innocent, and Van Damme's quite good at silent movement, I think. And he's quite good as a bad guy. He's rare as a bad guy, you know what I mean? He's great to see him in Expendables 2 as a bad guy. The movie, though, as I said, it bounces between Mickey Rourke fucking trying to look after Van Damme, as Van Damme sort of remembers and learns how to do the splits and all this stuff. The fighting scene when the two Van Dammes fight, I think it's well done. The idea of giving the other guy long black hair means there's, you know what I mean, there's a lot of in-camera shots and stuff like that. But one of the best things about the movie is the very end of the ambulance chase, you know what I mean? They've got this ambulance going around the car park, it's fucking lifting up, hitting off roofs, it's going down staircases. So it's some pretty good stunts at the end of it. But yeah, I mean, I quite enjoyed it. I mean, the front cover doesn't really justify it. I mean, this guy back here should be the Van Damme with the long hair, you know what I mean? But yeah, Replicant's like Van Damme, half his face and all that. Even on the back of the box, it's got two different Van Dammes. Serial killer on the loose and only one man can catch him. The Torch, Jean-Claude Van Damme, is being tracked by a veteran police detective, Jake, Michael Roker, to no avail. Each time Jake gets one step closer, another victim surfaces. Tormented by his past, Jake quits the police force and joins a special agency, the top secret mission to eliminate the Torch. As part of Jake's new assignment, he is teamed with a replicant, Jean-Claude Van Damme. So it's like double barrel Jean-Claude Van Damme. Cloned is, yep. In a race against time, Jake must trust him, mind one person who has trained to kill and control and thoughts of a madman. He cannot be stopped. So yeah, anyway, I think as well at the end, I think it was going to have quite a good ending. Van Damme gets shot and the other Van Damme doesn't know why he wants to live, and sort of does the whole like, get out, I want to die, and a big explosion, pretty good stunt. And then Van Damme turns back up the whorehouse, goes, hi, and she, I knew you'd come back, and it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, as I say, it's not a bad film, but it is a what the fuck film, to be honest with you. Cloning Van Damme, it's just like, he's got a fetish. I mean, actors do this, you know. Jackie Chan's done it. I mean, Adam Sandler's done it with Jack and Jill and stuff like that. But Van Damme must be the most double agent, Maximum Risk, Jean-Claude Van Johnson, Double Impact. I mean, fuck, he might turn up in Expendables 4 as his brother. What else is he in? Replicant. It's Van Damme fever. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Right, next one.
Oh, ow. Ow, my arm. Okay, so this morning I just watched In Hell. That's the one I just finished watching this morning. It's right now, Stephen. Breaking your arm and jump cutting. You don't normally do jump cutting. Okay, so In Hell. I rented this back in the day when it came out, probably from Global. You know, new Van Damme film, Van Damme In Hell. Like, ooh, Van Damme's going to see the devil. No, Van Damme is back in prison. Now, it's kind of mental because Carlos is in this. Carlos. He's got a really long name and it's shortened down to Carla. He's someone I worked with in Bulgaria in 2007. He's a really nice guy. Just works a lot with the stunt teams and over there, and they're just quite a very intelligent mind when it comes to stunts. So some of the stunts in this are really, really good. It's all physical, all hand combat. So Van Damme's basically at work, and this film doesn't hold no punches. Like, his wife basically gets raped and killed. And then the guy who Van Damme's running after, you know, Van Damme's just a little bit too late. You know, I've seen this before. He's just a little bit too late. He's running after them. And he has a fight on the bus. His mint stunt going through the window, as I say, with the stunts. Like, straight out the front. Oh, my fucking arm again! Straight out the fucking window. It's fucking brutal. They fight around and stuff, and then goes to court. He gets away with it. You know, the guy gets away with it. Doesn't show you a motive why this rich man decides to rape Van Damme's wife. It sort of skips that. And then Van Damme just fucking cold-bloodedly shoots him in the courtroom, just like Bruce Wayne was trying to do in Batman Begins. So he murders him down and ends up in the prison. It's all shot in Bulgaria. It's all set in the prison standard. There's a lot of fucking famous people, like, not famous, but people you recognise. For example, the guy from Death Warrant, who comes in with Ali Long, and then they have the fight, and you know, the guy with the little tash, he's in it. So it's just like, right, okay, so this is like Death Warrant 2, technically. Tattooed guy, Julian, who's in Death Warrant, but was in stuff like Mark for Death. He's in it. You've got the bad guy from Crocodile Dundee in it. Dundee 2. Just a lot of recognisable faces, including Lawrence Taylor. I don't know who Lawrence Taylor is, because WrestleMania 11. And it very much does the whole Shawshank Redemption as Lawrence Taylor and his memoirs of, you know, like, I mean, the start of the movie, Lawrence Taylor just brutally murders somebody by stabbing them in the mouth. It's like, whoa. And it's not long before there's some proper graphic prison rape. You're like, okay. And then you chuck Van Damme in here. So what the fuck's Van Damme going to do in prison? He's basically murdered somebody. And he makes some friends with some people. There's a lot of gang fighting. And then, of course, there's like a mini fighting tournament. If you've got a problem, you go there and you fight the sandpit. And all the owners are counting money and stuff like that. There's a lot of corruption. And then it's like Van Damme, you know, he goes from normal looking Van Damme to having a beard Van Damme to growing his hair Van Damme. His little montage of his pull-ups, getting ready to fight. Then he comes back with a little tash, and his hair like tied back. And he starts fighting everybody. Then Mankind turns up on steroids. Not Mick Foley, but, you know, it's just sort of, Van Damme's always banging on the wall, Morse coding somebody. And there's a mad killer who comes out of nowhere, and it's like, what the fuck? And then it goes down. But when it goes brutal, and it's like escape. But, like, not to spoil this movie, but Van Damme just drives off in the end. We did it together. He's looking at the picture of his wife. He went, you fucking murdered somebody. You made that choice. You are not getting out of prison. Fair enough, the prison is fucking craziness. It's like season 3 of Prison Break, but again, you shouldn't go around murdering people, Van Damme. You know, but yeah, good fights, good stunts. You can look at it as a death. They should have just called it Death Warrant 2. You know what I mean? Because essentially what it is, you know, it's just gritty and grounded enough. But yeah, wasn't as bad as I remembered that. So that's the third Van Damme for this, after the Replicant and fuck me, what was the third? Whoa, Sudden Death. Yeah, yeah, not too bad. But yeah, good stunts. Even the guy getting set on fire. Yeah, Lawrence Taylor though, pretty fucking badass in this. Right, next video.
Okay, Van Damme, Double Team. You can kind of see the appeal when this was made, like the idea of putting 2 people in it with blue screens, and you know, you got Boyo from Bloodsport. You even got Captain Chang, who's the police officer from Bloodsport, in it as the bad guy. Jeffrey Lewis, you want to call him, who's plays the pirate in Last Resort's in it. So it goes down 25 years later. These 2 brothers, one's grew up in France, they moved to California, the one's been raised in Hong Kong after their parents are brutally murdered by Boyo and the rest of the gang, all over about espionage and tunnel, who owns a tunnel and stuff, and a guy called Griffin. So okay, Jeffrey Lewis takes Chad away, Alex grows up in Hong Kong, and they meet. They both have exactly the same accent. How's that possible? But it's a strong movie. It's been shot in Hong Kong, so it does scream Bloodsport. You do get a rematch between Van Damme and Boyo at the end, and it's quite balanced. I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme's been involved in the writing, choreography. I missed my finger there, did you say that? Just at the start of the movie, it's like Van Damme, Van Damme, Van Damme, Van Damme, Van Damme. But does carry the spirit of Bloodsport. I mean, everyone's pretty much seen this. It was huge in the day, 2 Van Dammes. Fighting's pretty good. Lots of sexual innuendos. There's a weird neon light porn scene where Chad's apparently in Alex's mind having sex with his girlfriend. Van Damme does pull it off quite well. He goes for that whole innocent, where Alex has always got like the cigar in his mouth and slick back hair. They've done it well with it, like the stand-ins and how they've blocked it, and they use minimum scenes to have them in, but when they've had them in, they're quite, you know, they've really thought about them. Would you have to? I mean, if you watch any of my videos, especially if you watch any of the Arrow range, when there's 2 Stevens, it's tricky to do, but it's fun to do. I'm not doing it in this video. This is a good, the bad, and the what the fucks, but yeah, it's good. Kicks and flips and guns, pretty gnarly deaths. I mean, the end scene with the guy's hand goes through the grinder and stuff, you feel it, you're like, ooh. Boyo suffers the same fate as he does in Bloodsport, with that fucking helicopter kick of Van Damme. This time he gets electrocuted though, so like eventually it's like a rematch. But yeah, it's pretty good. As I say, it's a double team movie. At the time you would have stuff like Stallone and Kurt Russell running around and team ups were there, but this is a team up where Van Damme is in 2 places at once, kind of speak. So it was good. So it was good. Wasn't bad. Sitting down there, one packs a punch, the other one packs a piece. Well, you know, they both do the same amount of shooting. One packs a headbutt, one packs a punch, one packs a headbutt should have been the line. Together they're deadlier, but together they deliver. But yeah, quite a good movie. It's got a chapter selection maybe in here. What we got? Twins, the separation, 25 years later, going back to Hong Kong. Let's talk. Welcome to Hong Kong. It's your call. Big mistake. The hideout. Attack. The Climax Club. There's 2 of them. Danielle in trouble. Run. It's written in red. Not the best lighting in here. Fighting Brothers. Invasion. 1 run, 2 to go. 1 down, 2 to go. Just you and I. End credits. Van Damme doing a kick. There's a pretty impressive kick when Van Damme stops a barrel coming down on him. It's a pretty gnarly effect. Again, when Van Damme's involved in the fighting choreography and stuff like that, especially at that time, he's really got like, right, we'll do that and do this. And I'll do the splits and I'll be like pumping my ass in front of loads of girls. Why would you want to do that? Because I want to do it. I'm wearing spandex. But yeah, go in the pile. I've got to mention though, in Hell, how dark and gruesome that movie was. The fucking soundtrack with dead disco-y fucking techno music. I think that's a bit of a weird thing to add to the movie, that though. But yeah, this is the good, the bad, and the what the fucks. It's random as fuck. It's just gone 1:30 in the morning. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. What the fuck is wrong with my body? Ow. Fuck. Cyborg. I've just watched Cyborg. I put it on VHS. I believe it's holding up that bookcase over there. I know this has got origins and was meant to be Masters of the Universe 2, and it's credited in some films as Masters of the Universes 2. So I know canon movies, it's been very documented in Electric Boogaloo, that this movie was made from the just because some of the sets had been built, the wardrobe, and Van Damme just came up with this crazy ass story, and it's sort of, you know, a bit of an homage to Mad Max, you know. I mean, don't get us wrong, when the girl pulls her helmet hat off and you see like all the stop motion, and that's pretty creepy actually, but you know, it's advanced for the time. And then Van Damme sort of flashbacks with long hair and fighting a guy with fucking neon eyes, and you know, fight scenes have all the repetitiveness and returns and stuff, but it's just fucking weird, like really weird. I mean, Action Jackson loves this movie, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, one minute Van Damme's getting crucified, the other time he's wrapped in barbed wire, the next time he's flying around doing some kicks, and it's just, sorry, like, but this is the shortest one I've probably done because I'm trying to hold this fucking heavy ass camera. I'm not trying to do the splits in air and stealth people, but it's fucking just, what the fuck that. For how much fanfare it's got as well, but sorry, like, but Cyborg was not for me. There you go, Legionnaire behind Ski Patrol. I just enjoyed Legionnaire. It, like, if you didn't have Van Damme in it and had probably a more dramatic actor, it probably would have been nominated for awards, you know, because the scale of it's massive. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Some of the set pieces are really good. The supporting cast, there's a few recognisable faces in there. Van Damme does a little couple of punches and that, but it's straight up a war film. I'll try and stand up on the camera. But yeah, the Foreign Legion, it's almost like a prequel to AWOL, years beforehand. Nearly half a century, yeah. But no, I genuinely enjoyed that. Say Van Damme's a boxer at the start, and he has no choice but to join the French Legion. Then the Legion come after him, the Legion, but the people he sort of pisses off come after him. But no, some of the skills, sets, the shooting, it's really good. Generally, it wasn't as bad as I remembered. I mean, my mum bought us that VHS years ago, and I mean, I watched it once, you know. But again, Van Damme's trying to do something serious. But I think if they even turned down the bit of action at the start and just went for the whole Van Damme, because it has like that prison kind of vibe thing in the Legion, then it might like even be better. But honestly, you can definitely see like a different kind of actor being put in that and it being put out there. But fair play to Van Damme. But yeah, I've got to go back in the garden and burn some wood and shit. The next one's Knockoff. If it ever fucking finishes, it just froze. And bear in mind, this is one of the triple packs that was like sealed, and then he's just been trying to start the boat, and then it just cut to 2 hours later, and I think I've just missed a bit of the film, but you know, hey. Okay, the next one is Knockoff, and it finally finished there randomly at the end. Okay, so first off, put some green fog there. Not much, because it takes a while to master. Yeah. Get rid of that green fog. I just want to put the green fog in there because this has green fire in it, and it just looks fucking terrible. This is from 1997. This was pretty big because when it came out, it was the very early stages of DVD, and originally I had it in one of them solid dual case snap cases ones. Stuff like, I mean, it's Columbia TriStar, stuff like Bad Boys and Zilla, you know, stuff like that. So it was Van Damme slapped on it, you know, it's going to sell. Now, co-starring Rob Schneider. This is just before Rob Schneider really became synonymous with Adam Sandler and all them films and stuff like that. Rob Schneider, who would have been in Judge Dredd and Demolition Man, good comedy sidekick, put him with Van Damme. It's also got the guy Paul, can never pronounce his second name,
who plays like sort of the Godfather character in the Goodfellas. The mentor from Kickboxer, the guy who jumps up and goes, he is back. He is at the start of this movie when Van Damme is sort of introduces Van Damme in the movie. He's there as like a weird cameo. Now it's all set in Japan, Hong Kong. So it's got a bit of like homage to Double Impact and Bloodsport. You know, Van Damme making a movie over there. There's a lot of big stunts in this. Now I have been to Hong Kong before. There's going to be an overlay of footage of Hong Kong. There'll be a reason why in a minute. There's a little random places. I enjoyed Hong Kong, and this does showcase a lot of stuff. And then we get the Big Buddha. So yeah, hello, I'm back. Big Buddha was the end thing you see in there. Big Buddha's in this, and it's where they have the hideout. Yes, that's right. So the story is basically much Van Damme is the king of knockoffs, and basically someone's putting bombs in the knockoffs, and Rob Shine is playing a double agent, kind of like Friends of Van Damme, company sidekick. Van Damme's very sleek in this as well. This looks like it was just before Double Team. There's some good flips and kicks in it. There's a lot of stunts, but there's a lot of jewelry stuff. Like really this weird like echo effect and stuff, and I'm just making this complex as fuck. Echo effects and fucking green fog and overlays of Japan, man, it's fucking China. I've been there. But yeah, and there's weird stuff as well. Make my video even harder. And there's a box. Like, why is there a box there? There's a box there because for some reason the only time in the fucking movie he says look in the box and it cuts a cutscene of a box. It's like, what the fuck, Junior? What's in? Why would you do that? But yeah, some crazy stunts in this as well. There's big outlandish effects. There's big scales, especially when they're fighting on top of the Coca-Cola sign. There's some weird explosions at the shipyard at the end. There's a bit like Double Impact. Some pretty good deaths and stuff like that. But again, Action Jackson hates this movie, and he's a big Van Damme fan. It's right in the middle. You know, it's a good, it's a bad. It's not really what the fuck, to be honest with you. But yeah, unfortunately, a brand new DVD from Music Magpie out the box there didn't work at the end. I mean, it'd still be knocking around on Snapbox somewhere. But yeah, it was. There's not many laugh out loud moments. I mean, the bit with the run at the start, and he's in his little carriage, and you know, there's just. I don't know. It's just like, I mean, when they do the stunts, there's proper Hong Kong stunts. You know, I mean, there's a bit where the car, right? Van Damme's in this car, and the car goes out through the window, and it does like a flip, lands on these bottles of water, bounces off the truck, and they're still dry on. You think that car is clearly fucked. There's a bit earlier on before when there's a car flip and the piston. So when they do flips and tricks, they shoot the pistons out, and you can see that go flying across the road. And you went, well, you haven't hit that stunt very well. But again, you know, Hong Kong stunt guys kick them down the stairs. They're going to go down the stairs. So, as I say, Van Damme at the end, you know, he's very sleek in it. He has to just rip off his top to get to the boat. But there's loads of bits as well where he's sliding through water and stuff like that and shooting and stuff. So yeah, it's just a weird hybrid of what was happening in America, you know, the comedy sidekicks, and bringing it across to the American actors over in the Hong Kong film. So yeah, I don't know what the next one. Oh, the next one is Desert Heat. It's already gone in the fucking, also known as Inferno. It's already gone in the player. These are the good, the bad, and what the fucks are getting a bit batshit crazy. You can probably take in the background there that the third one is rendering there. So that's a Kickbox review. I just made that this morning. It's pretty metal. This whole series is pretty metal, but you know what? It's better than fuck all. So Desert Heat's just finished. Now Desert Heat, also known as Inferno. Been a lot of controversy over the film. It was meant to get a cinema release, but after knock off. And Double Team were a bit of a disappointment. It got straight to DVD, and that's how it's ended up with two names: TV, movie, stuff like that. Now it's from the director of Rocky, but even he wanted his name taken off it. The guy also directed Karate Kid. Massive supporting cast in this. You got Danny Trejo, who's playing an Indian, but then sometimes drops some Mexican slang in there. Mr. Miyagi's in there. Durant, the guy who plays Durant in Darkman, he's the baddie. The Ghost from Ghost and the Subway Ghost, he's in it, but he's browned up to play an Indian. Okay. There's a couple of recognisable faces in there. Haywire from Prison Break's in there, as well as Grimm. And you've also got Jamie Presley from My Name is Earl, So it's quite a lot of cast now. It's filmed in California, hence why they probably have quite a big cast. And then you got Van Damme, the lead role. And Van Damme's riding across the desert. Bike runs out of fuel. He's got no reason to live. He's trying to go back to see Johnny Six Toes, who's dying Treasure. Runs into the Hogans. Get left for dead, really. Johnny Six Toes saves him. Johnny Six Toes. And then he comes into the town after he's healed and just murders some people. Mr. Miyagi's more than happy to get rid of the bodies, and the whole town sort of rallies behind this lad called Eddie, as Eddie tries to take down the local terrorists, local villains and stuff like that. But it's got a lot of Tremors vibe. You know, it's like, you know what I mean. Tremors 3 could have easily picked up filming when this was done. The role almost doesn't seem like a Van Damme role. He plays quite a quirky character. Just get his few flips and kicks in there at the end. There's some bloody deaths in it. But you can kind of see something's not quite right. It's like watching Tombstone. You go, oh yeah, I quite like Tombstone, but then Tombstone goes off in a different direction because different directors have different visions. And then again with Van Damme as well, he known, like, especially I think with was it Cyborg, to come along and want the scenes cut differently, and you can kind of see, no, I want that kick repeated. No, I want that kick repeated. And you know, maybe that's why he fell out the director. I mean, it doesn't. It sort of is an underdog story, but then with the point that Eddie, played by Van Damme, flat out just murders people when he gets to town, and everyone rallies behind him. It's kind of like, ooh. But no, it wasn't bad. I do have it on VHS. There, have it on VHS. Obviously, it's also called Inferno. But yeah, that's the 8th film of this Van Damme. It's the 4th good, the bad, and what the fucks. It's a lot of Van Damme. But no, that's it. Would have been one of the best ones for a while. It was a lot better than Cyborg, for sure. It's better than Knockoff. As I say, it's good to see him doing it. But again, it looked like it was going to be a big American picture, but then it just looks like kind of controversy just went straight under the radar. AWOL, yeah. So AWOL has been reviewed for Review Rant Random before, and I think I went in a bit more editing. I used that at Death Warrant when I originally watched this box set, and I even had my shoes off, and because fuck me, there's loads of fucking repeats. Like, fucking hell, I'm not repeating myself, I might as well. Yeah. So anyway, this film comes off the tail end of Kickboxer and Bloodsport, just about to go in the 90s, just before Van Damme really went nowhere to run, and this probably was just after, around about the same time as Universal Soldier. Concept's great. Bring, literally someone wants Bloodsport made in America. That's what this is, you know, bring it across. Street Fighter was about to pop as well, Street Fighter 2. So the idea of like travelling fighters and Van Damme's your man to do it, it works. Good story. Now he's in the French Foreign Legion. This is years before Legionnaire, so he does a runner like he does in Bloodsport. Soars away on the ship like the Quest. Makes it to America, makes it to New York, and travels from New York across. Befriends somebody to show him the underground fight circle. Evil woman at the top, wanting all his money. Fights are pretty basic. There's some stereotypical bad guys. You know, there's a Scottish guy, but again, the fighting inside of like all the casts around, it's pretty cool. There's the underground fight with the original like gangster down there. Then you've got the spandex guy and the Gleamer of the Cube pool fight, which if you look carefully, Van Damme's tattoos definitely washed away a bit. But that fight's hilarious. Just the spandex on and stuff like that. You go for it. And then you get the big fight with the big guy at the end. And Van Damme must be clearly standing on the box next to that guy. But you've got Tom Poe in it again. You know, Tom Poe, Bloodsport and that, and he's rooting on for him and that, cheering in the crowd. Got Tom Poe not being the bad guy at the end, you know. But yeah, it's dead cheesy, especially when it ends there and he comes running back. The film has 2 names. AWOL's a mint name for it. I know Lionheart was normally tagline underneath it, but again, I think it's one of the ones bringing Van Damme to America at the time, you know, showing that he's got a bit of heart, and then you know, his brother getting killed at the start, and him coming back and want to fight for his family and stuff like that. But yes, fucking loads of and then there has to be the typical scene where he takes off his dressing gown and you get to see his butt, and it's like, okay.
But yeah, it's also got the guy who's been in loads. He's been in the X-Files. He was Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. He's got the dimples. He's in Dr. Morbid. Fuck me, he might be in the Terminator. He's in the Terminator. He might be, you know. He's been in loads of films. He's in there. So it's, you know, hard underground fighting. No, again, tailor-made for Van Damme at the time. But check out Review Rant Randoms. Went a bit more in depth from there, but I think that's number 9. So I don't know whether to get Black Eagle out of the way again, or maybe he's finally dig out Expendables, Swelter, Derailed, Shepherd, and Assassination Games. There might be more over there. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I'm enjoying doing this Van Damme. I'm definitely going to go to Nicolas Cage very soon. If there's not 10 Van Damme films for another one after this, it'll be Nicolas Cage, because I really want to watch Colour Out of Space, whichever way that's around. But yeah, we'll see you for the final one, probably tomorrow.
Okay, number 10 for the final of The Good, the Bad and the What the Fox Volume 4, Jean-Claude Van Damme, is Black Eagle. Now, Black Eagle, back in the day, was heavily known about because Van Damme's name was slapped right across the top of the box, even though Van Damme is sort of the secondary character in the movie, coming off the back end of Bloodsport and Kickboxer at the time, but was made well before. I just need to shut the door. So, Black Eagle is part of the triple box set from 101 Films, along with Death Warrant and AWOL. So I just decided to get it out of the way so I can get it filed back in the collection. It's all shot in Malta. Van Damme plays the henchman. He's Russian again, like he is in No Retreat, No Surrender. The lead actor looks like it's his one-hit movie in America. This guy is definitely known in his native country. He's done a lot of movies, so it's almost like Hong Kong comes to Malta. Bit of an espionage film. It's got an amazing stunt when the guy dives off the building into the pier. That's class. It's fucking random as hell as well, because the storyline's weird. He has to go to Malta. His kids are there. He wants to spend time with his kids, but there's a plane crash and he's got to investigate the plane crash, and he's got to try to balance his secret agent James Bond kind of style while looking after his kids, and while Van Damme and his boss run around trying to find this plane as well. And there's a bit where he paraglides and just unloads himself and just free falls and lands on his fucking head. It's like they're there earlier on at the same place, and I was like, why can't you just swim down there? You're at it. So fucking knows what's going on with that. Fighting scenes are quite good. Again, Van Damme shows off his splits on a barrel, throwing knives, and he's got this love interest, which is pretty weird for the henchman. There's a lot of fighting. There's a great fight choreograph where they're fighting and does the splits and feel them out. But some of the chase scenes and some of the locations are really good. Even the kids are meant to be annoying because they want to see the dad and all that. It's quite balanced. But again, it's a film that's been shot well, and the only reason it's still known and still available is because Van Damme's in it. You know, casting Van Damme is the best thing this film did. Otherwise, it would have just got lost in the fucking shuffle. There's some really weird stunts, weird fighting, scores, creepy 80s kind of style, but yeah. So that was The Good, the Bad, and the What the Fox 4. So, and there we've had Black Eagle, which is a bad film. But we've also got AWOL, which I thought was mint. AWOL's Street Fighter. Basically, before Street Fighter, going around cities, using the kind of blood sport formula. Some signs of the time, some good actors in it. Then we've got Knockoff, which hasn't aged well. The Buddha, Green Fire, don't be putting any of that on. The weird overlay effects, but the guy from Kickboxer's back in it. Desert Heat, really good film. Again, there's a lot of controversy around it with being the director Rocky. He didn't want nothing to do with it, and you can tell that there's some kind of hiccup in production on that. So, Knockoff, bad, definitely a bad film. Desert Heat, I'm going to say it's a good film. Legionnaire, I enjoyed it, second time around. That box is still hanging. But yeah, Cyborg, sorry, bad. And to be honest with you, it's a what the fuck movie, because what the fuck is really going on in this. So Cyborg becomes a what the fuck. I know the cult Van Damme followers are going to be like, oh, motherfucking thumbs down, fucking not liking Cyborg. But it's not Master of the Universe, is it? Double Impact, amazing movie. For the time how it was done, it's good. Sudden Death, it's Die Hard. Replicant, that is a what the fuck movie. I mean, Van Damme's a baddie, Van Damme gets cloned, Van Damme running after Van Damme. It's a what the fuck movie. And last but not least, in that box set, In Hell. I enjoyed In Hell for what it was. I did mention that it has a disco fucking techno disco fucking score for a fucking prison movie, and people locked up on Mankind masks on and cast from Death Warrant in it. But yeah, that was good, the bad, and What the Fuck's Volume 4. That's me 40th Van Damme film in 3 weeks. It's insane. I am going to scratch around now in this room for see if I have 10 more. So off the top of my head, we've got Expendables 2, Derailed. Derailed was my first ever solo podcast. Oh my god. Swelter on Blu-ray. Fuck. I've smashed some glass underneath my foot. Hang on. This has gone to hell. I bet that shuts down again. Right, hang on. Right, you're just taking the piss. Yeah, that's a pretty bad crack. Shit. Sorry, jump cut, my computer shut down. Jesus Christ, I look evil as fuck. Missing the beard's there. Didn't look like I have a beard. So yeah, Swelter, Expendables 2, Derailed, Shepherd, Assassination Games, Maximum Risk is in the other room. I have ordered Blackwater off hcvd.com because I don't own it on Blu-ray. I don't own it in general. So I'm going to revisit Blackwater. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the outtakes. That was a crack. I've smashed my Darkman thing. Oh, that is not good. That has gone all the way up. Brilliant. My little desk is broken because of fucking Van Damme. Brilliant. So, the damage is worse than expected. It's cracked all on my poor desk. So, yep. I have to use that one. It's my backup. And because that's now the backup, I need to stand out again. Brit's Christmas present finally up on the wall. So yeah, I've made space. I have a gift. Look. Keep your distance. Thank you.
You're welcome, Sonny.
Okay, so here's the good, the bad, and the what the fuck's the very end. Now, Matthew Connor has just dropped that off there for us. It's mental to think about that. When I did Bloodsport, I looked at the samurai sword and was like, what can I use the samurai sword for? But a Bloodsport. It was just hiding there, so now it's down. So that could be dangerous, that being in my hands. But yeah, thanks, Maddie. This is the end of the good, the bad, and the what the fuck.
And now, the end is here.